It's the GAA Social on BBC Sounds. The championship begins this weekend. Tyrone against Armagh, live on BBC television. Lots of other games. Yourself, you're involved as well, Oisín, aren't you?
Yeah, with Carlo this weekend, so look forward to it.
Lots going on. Championship season has arrived, and we have a very special guest with us today. And before we
You're underselling it.
We are totally underselling it. And I tell you why. It's one of about 3 occasions where I actually have, I just have a screen grab. Usually don't have notes, but I felt it was important to get this right. The person sitting in front of me has won 7 All-Irelands, 3 under-21 All-Irelands, 1 All-Ireland minor, 10 Munster titles, 3 National Leagues, 6 All-Stars, and is Footballer of the Year. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. David Clifford is 3, but this man has more than David Clifford. 4 times Footballer of the Year. Kerry great and one of the greatest footballers of all time, Jacko. How are we?
Very good, thank you, yeah.
Feeling nervous?
Delighted to be here.
Feeling nervous?
A bit nervous, yeah, but being near Oisín yourself, I'm always a bit nervous, but no, I'm feeling good.
How do you think we feel?
Sorry, how do you think I feel? He's a few as well.
Yeah. It's great to have those achievements are great, but I was also part of an unbelievable team, and I think you can't win those awards unless you're with a really good team, and I was very fortunate to be with a great team.
Yeah, this is not the normal Gaelic interview we try to, so the minute you get a compliment, don't deflect and spread it on to others, okay?
Okay, right, okay.
This is about you today, Jack. This is about you today. This is about life. This is about a man that's into golf, a man who's had a couple of operations recently to get himself back into decent nick. Just what were they?
Yeah, a new hip and a new knee. So I'm
feeling good?
Feeling great, yeah. They've all worked out great so far, thank God. Yeah, it's great. And they've no pain or anything, so that's the main thing.
Fantastic. And when you get those types of operations as the surgeon, before he puts you under the knife, is it like too many miles in the clock, too much football, too much rough and tumble?
No, it's funny actually. When I was playing, I never got injured.
Yeah.
Never pulled a muscle, I don't think, in my life. And it's just one of these things, but I suppose my work doesn't help either, being a plumber, that you're kind of up and down your knees and whatever. So, they kind of came at me fairly quickly, the two of them, so I decided to get them done quicker rather than suffering the pain and that. And I was advised to go and get them done, so I went ahead and got them done, and thank God they're very successful.
Brilliant. It's good to see you looking so well. Oisín, outline who we have in front of us here.
I suppose it's the name Jacko. Everybody knows as soon as you say Jacko. And there's probably, in Kerry, there's probably a few
Jacko
now at this stage. But just when I was growing up and that, I know you won. You won a minor in 75.
Minor in 75.
Yes, so I was born in 75. And I'm not trying to make it.
He is.
Usually it works. Usually it works in the flip. Flip when people say that. But no, just everything about him. He was the greatest.
Wow.
He was the greatest, and I know there's people who have come along and have sort of laid claim to maybe that title since, and I know David Clifford is on a serious trajectory. I know how much Jack thinks of him, but this man here just had absolutely everything. He was a machine. I don't think he had an injury at all, did you? During
I think I missed maybe 1 or 2 games in total in my career, yeah, throughout my whole 17 or 18 years playing with Kerry, yeah. And I played every match as well, which was unusual. I played every league game and I missed 1 championship game against Clare back in, I think it was 79. I got a bit of a knock in the back the week before and they didn't play me, so I think that's probably one of the only occasions I didn't play.
And so are you saying you think he's the greatest? Is that what you're say'ing? Sounds like you've the
I think it's very hard to kind of come up say someone's the greatest.
It is very
different
difficult.
eras and that are different things, but
It is, but it's unbelievable how synonymous you were with Gaelic football when I grew up.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And it was the name that rolled off the tongue. And yeah, you have Pat Spillane and you have Mikey Sheehy and Paddy O'Shea and all those guys, but you were always the one that stood out. And I think maybe it came from the household as well. My mum was Jacko, Jacko.
I met her on many occasions.
Yeah, and she was a decent judge of a footballer and a human being. So that's probably why when I was growing up, you guys were dominating, and they were the faces you were seeing every week. It's not like now you didn't have untold images on all the time, but instantly recognizable. He doesn't look that much different than he did then either. So like he
Is that good or bad?
I don't know. Either you're a really old player when you were playing, or you're looking well, boy. Maybe it's a compliment.
You played midfield, and then you did have a little bit of a stint towards the end of full forward, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of played wing forward maybe 1 year, and then I played full forward the last year I played. But most of my career was through midfield. Yeah. I actually started off in the minors. I played full forward in the minor team. I was actually full forward on the All-Ireland minor team in 75 and the under-21 team in 75. And so I kind of, then Kerry got beaten in the All-Ireland in 76, and I played the National League, then started in October. Back then it started a few weeks after the All-Ireland, and I played my first league match against Dublin and Tralee in 76, just after they losing the All-Ireland. So that was the beginning. And then maybe no, that was my second game, sorry. The first game was in Navan. We played a meet in Navan in 76 in the league. And something happened, one of the cars coming, some of the lads were in the car and the car broke down or something happened. So I was actually put in to start at midfield, and that was the beginning. I kind of got, someone else was due to start, but they didn't make it to start the game, and I was started instead of them.
And like you grew up in Cahersiveen, obviously, so it's quite a track.
It is a track, yeah. Like I was born in New Street in Cahersiveen, and the football field was right across the road from my house. A couple of doors back from me was Maurice Fitzgerald, afterwards, and Bryan Sheehan is more or less in the same street as well. So like the football field was our playground, and that's where we spent most of our time when we were young. Unusually, there's beaches and all that around us. I never went to the beach in the summer. I spent most of my time in the field, and most games that were played down the football field, I would have been there when I was a young fella kicking the ball back from behind the goal, and any chance you get to kick the ball and all that sort of stuff. So that's where it all began, really.
And like, it's not as if there was like underage squads or development squads or anything like that at that time. So how were you spotted?
I would have been fairly prominent in school with the Cahersiveen CBS, and at underage I would have been probably a fairly prominent player all the time. Then of course I had the privilege of watching Micko and Micko. They used to come in to the pitch opposite my house to train. Well, training back then was more or less kicking. They'd spend maybe an hour and a half kicking between the two of them, and I used to be with them as their ball boy and that. So I was inspired from a very young age in that line,
Which is unbelievable, really, how and a nice timeline how it's all changed, because when you guys were playing back in the day, you actually trained more individually than you did collectively.
Yeah, well, we did. Well, I was in Dublin, you see, for most of my senior career, and I would have trained in Belfield under Micháel.
How did you end up in Dublin?
I came to Dublin first for a few years experience of the plumbing. I went working with a fella from home. He had a company in Dublin, Micko, so I went working with him. And I planned to go back again, but sure, it never took off. I kind of got out to the football career then, but I travelled up and down then for 8 years to play club football, nearly every Sunday, every second Sunday. And
how long's that? That's before the good roads too. Like, how long?
I often left the leagues about 8 o'clock in the morning and got back at 12 o'clock at night after playing the club match.
8 years.
Yeah.
So why did you not transfer up earlier?
There's nothing like your own people. There's nothing like your own club. You're rare with fellas. You're committed to the club, and I love going back playing with the lads I grew up with, and it never entered my head to transfer to any club at that time. And as long as I could keep doing it, and that until the kids came along, then they made it more difficult than that. So at the end, I did transfer to Leixlip where I was living.
Yeah, big commitment. But I suppose if you're away from home and your life's in Leixlip and you're still a Kerry man underneath it, it keeps you in touch with everything back home. It
does, yeah. And going back even to meet the older people in the club that were involved with you when you were young growing up, and meet them before matches, and you'd be talking about the county games and before you go out and play a club match. There was a great unity and bond there, and it still goes on. Like my sister actually is the chairman of the club in Cahersiveen at the moment, and has been for the last few years. So the bond is there, like, and it's very hard to break it. And
Because I'm sure you got a few offers, like, you know, as in,
there was lots of clubs looking for me to come and play and all that sort of stuff, but it never kind of appealed to me. And at the end of the day, then I decided to go. Like, even though I did get involved with Walterstown training back in '84, and I transferred to Leixlip in '85, there was a chance I could have gone to Walterstown that way because I was involved training with them, but I decided to stay with Leixlip.
So what was it like growing up? Give me a sense. You're born when were you born?
1957.
So give me a sense of what that part of Ireland looks like. Family, how many of you?
I have 5 sisters and 1 brother.
Right, so only one other boy in the
Yeah.
house. Parents?
My father was a harness maker,
Right.
and my mother she was from the locality outside the town.
Okay. And what was growing up like?
Growing up was brilliant. Like, we had the freedom of the place in the town of Cahersiveen. It's not a huge big town, but everybody knows everybody. You're everybody's child, really, and everybody looks after you. My father was big into the beagle hunting, and I took that up from a very, very young age. And I spent an awful lot of time in the mountains and, you know, out in the bogs and all that stuff with the hounds and the beagles. So it's fox and hare hunting, like, which it takes maybe 8 or 9 hours. You're out on the mountains and that kind of stuff. And I put that down to a lot where I built up my stamina and my strength. And it was just fabulous to grow up with all the lads that we knew were very, very close. We actually had a reunion there a couple of weeks ago, of 50 years ago into first year and that sort of stuff. So there's still a huge bond there. But it was just everything was activity when we were growing up. You know, we never had a car at home in our house. So we cycled and walked everywhere. Like, there's no bother to cycle 15, 20 miles if you had to go somewhere or whatever. You didn't take any notice of that. I was born in the town, which again, you know, is I suppose, a plus in one way for growing up like that. But everything was just freedom and activity. That's what all my whole upbringing would be.
Big enough family though, would have been tight enough growing up with money and
it was because my dad had a bad accident when he was about 31, 32, and he never worked really after that. So we had a tough upbringing really as a family. Like, we had a great upbringing as a family, like very, very close, and even to today we're very, very close, all my sisters and everybody. And but we managed, and I think it helped us to bond as a family, and we're still hugely united, and it's great.
And then if your daddy has an accident, what happened to him, Jack, if you don't mind me asking?
He was actually a harness maker by trade, so the harness making that time would have been lacking off. The tractors would have been coming in, and they'd be getting rid of the horses and all that sort of stuff. So he kind of he was very gifted with his hands and that, and he went working in a local school. They were building a local technical school, and he helped them he was helping out there, and I think they were moving a big mixer or something. At that time there was no JCBs to move the mixer or whatever, so they were moving it, and whoever was with him on his side let it go, and he snapped his back.
Right.
So I think he spent about 18 months in hospital with plaster pars and, you know, lying still in his back.
God.
So yeah, it was tough, but it was good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change the world. I had a great upbringing. Mom was great, you know. She actually did 3 jobs as well, cleaning jobs to rear us. So, you know, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth now. That's what I'll tell you. You know?
But you know what? Isn't it lovely to hear someone, because I mean, your daddy's in a hospital for 18 months. You could go down a line there, Jack, where it's like poor me, but actually you're actually smiling. You actually visibly are smiling, recalling your childhood. That
I remember going out to work in the summer job in the local fish factory, Quinlan's. They're still a great. I still get fish from the factory actually. They're and I think I was getting £13 a week, and I was giving 12 to my mother. You know, that was we had to support each other in that. And my sister used to go. My older sister went working as well, so we all chipped in to help out, and we were never short of nothing, and we never wanted for nothing. You know, we had the love and we had everything, so we had a very good upbringing.
Does it give you more gratitude now for the things that you have, or
the
you appreciate
opportunities you have a lot
more?
more, yeah. And like, everybody gets huge enjoyment out of anything that comes to the family or whatever, you know. So it's just a great bonding. Like, you're from a big family as well, so you know, it's if you weren't in time for your tea, you didn't get much to eat. You know what I mean? You had to, whatever. But we were never short of nothing. We were never short of.
Yeah.
she was a great woman, my mother, to rear the whole lot of us. Yeah.
I was about to say there, your mum sounds like a force of nature.
Oh yeah, like she got up in the morning, 7 in the morning. She went to bed at 12 at night. Like my vision of growing up and seeing 9 pairs of shoes up along the steps of the stairs, polished for mass on a Sunday, you know, that kind of stuff. She buttered our bread. She put the milk in our cups. You know, she kind of rationed everything to survive, whatever. So, but I'm proud of it. Like, you know, it's one of those things you grow up with.
Well, you should be proud of it. I mean, you should be proud of it. I think it's it shapes you. That, like, even though we're sitting here,
I think so. Yeah, it kind of keeps your feet in the ground, keeps you down to earth, and you appreciate. Then if you do get the opportunity to do something, and like we all had dreams. I had a dream when I was young that I'd love to play an All-Ireland final. You know, that was one of my main ambitions, to walk behind the Artane boys band, to be one of 30 people to get the chance to walk behind the band on an All-Ireland final day. That's unique. You know, when you look at it, like, of all the people that's in this country, and you're one of that 30 or one of the 15 from your county that can do that. So those are the things, you know.
Yeah. It's funny how people recall different images from an All-Ireland final. Like, walking behind the band to me wouldn't have been necessarily up there with some of the, you know, when you talk to different people talking about All Ireland's, not me, by the way, just talking to other people. But it's funny you mention that, because very recently there's a club in Tyrone called Loughmacrory. They won the senior football championship in Tyrone this year, first time in their history. They usually played junior, intermediate. A couple of very good footballers and good team have come through, and we did a piece for Loughmacrory on them winning the championship, bit of filming with them, and nearly every one of their players, when I was interviewing them, county final, what was the day? And I was thinking it was going to be, they beat Trillick by a point. They you know, you lift the O'Neill Cup for the first time, the homecoming, all those things you can imagine. But nearly every one of the players when we were interviewing them said, walking behind the band on county final day. And that's not Croke Park, it's just their county final day. But it nearly hit me as strange, but a lovely thing. It's something they envisaged happening.
Yeah, I kind of used it to motivate me. I really look forward to the All-Ireland final day. Like, I love the occasion. Unusually, I would do things leading up to the final that other fellas wouldn't dream of doing. Like, I played pitch and putt the morning of the All-Ireland final.
The morning of it?
The morning of it, yeah. We went out and played 18 holes of pitch and putt every year. I was totally relaxed. I was totally you weren't thinking of the game at all. Like, I was out in Malahide playing pitch and putt with the Dublin supporters, you know, slagging them and having the cracking. Who would usually come with me were the younger lads in the panel. The fellas would be the kind of unofficial subs or whatever in the panel would come with me, the younger lads. And we'd just go on and spend an hour and a half out pitch and putt before you go into Croke Park. But the whole occasion, I just revelled on it. And even walking behind the band, like, you know, to look up into the stand, see faces that you recognise and that sort of stuff. And, like, you keep saying to yourself, like, this is where I want to be. You know, this is what I want. And I kind of used it to motivate me and help me through, you know.
I can't see that washing today. Pitch and putt, 18 holes of pitch.
Oh, sure. I'd say you wouldn't be left out of the hotel today, would you? It was unusual. Like, Micko never kind of stopped me, or he never kind of intervened or anything like that. They knew where I was going. Like, he'd say to me the night before, I suppose you're going playing pitch and putt again in the morning. And I said, yeah, I am definitely, yeah. And just one of the things I did. I just kept my mind off it.
You can see how it would totally distract you and keep you relaxed.
There's a lovely compliment to the likes of Micko there.
The trust.
To trust you, to allow you, and...
I did, yeah. Micko had great... he was a great man manager, and he knew everybody upside down. Like, he knew everybody's temperament and how everybody reacted to this. And if Micko wanted to get a message to you, like, he mightn't say it to you himself. He'd get somebody else to kind of intervene in some other way, you know. So he was very trustful in that, but it was different back then. You know, there was, like, sure, like, we used to go to the Munster final, and we'd be in the Park Place Hotel, and then you'd leave the hotel and you'd be walking up to the Munster final with in the middle of the supporters, like, chanting the supporters going up, and you go in the gate and you go to the dressing room, they go to the stand. But, like, that's what's totally different back then. And I think the players were more connected with the people then, back in that time.
I think the whole community thing definitely was even a lot stronger when I played, because it wasn't you locked players away,
Yeah.
and now that did come, I suppose, pretty quickly then, late 90s. But when I first started playing, I would say there was more of a connection community-wise than.
It's a bit sad. It seems we've lost that. I mean, I guess modern players would
Inevitable, though, I suppose.
would nearly push against that idea that they're not connected with their communities. But the reality is they're certainly less visible.
I'm not saying they're not connected. I'd say they were just more connected.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
I think it would have helped players as well, because like you're in the natural environment of the whole day. You're not kind of hidden behind the door. Next thing the door opens and you're in front of 60,000 people or whatever. You were more connected, I thought. And even at that time, I remember walking into league games against the Dubs and walking in with Brian Mullins into the match. He got in one dressing room and I go into the other. You'd meet beforehand, walking into the game or whatever, so.
Would you just be talking?
Oh, we would, yeah. We were good friends, even though we crossed the white line. We weren't, but we were very, very close, actually, in the end of the day, yeah.
Yeah. Very sad he's no longer with us, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. When you think of the lads, that have gone, it's very, very sad. Like the Dubs, a few of them now have gone in the last year or two, 3 or 4 of them. And you have 3 lads on our team, Paddy, Timmy and John Egan, so you'd miss them. And you'd often say, like, I still think you're going to see Paddy walking around the corner from somewhere, he was that character, so yeah, it's sad.
We've talked about Paddy just so many times in this podcast. John Egan's probably somebody we haven't really mentioned an awful lot.
John was I played club football. I played in the county championship team with John as well. He used to be centre forward and I used to play centre back for South Kerry. And he was a phenomenal footballer. Unbelievable. Like he had unique, he soloed the ball to his with his right hand, and he'd pass it with his left, and very few cornerbacks could cut him on, but you could never get the ball off him when he got it. But he was the most, like myself, he was very laid back in the dressing room. Like John could be there sitting reading the newspaper, 10 minutes before he go to the All-Ireland, out in the All-Ireland. He was so laid back. He took everything in his stride, and but a phenomenal player.
Yeah.
Like he had to work very hard to get, to keep his weight in check and to get fit and that. And he got a lot of extra training in that, but he never complained. Like he was a gentleman.
Yeah.
On and off the field, he was brilliant.
And his son's doing great things. And
John is doing great, yeah. Then he had 3 other brothers as well, and they used to play with Sneem. And if you played them in the 7-a-side, you couldn't get the ball off them. 3, 4 brothers, they held the ball all day long. So he was a great character, yeah.
Do we blame them for the modern day scourge of Gaelic football then, this possession-based game? Is that where it started?
I don't know. I suppose everything works in games nowadays, so it's hard to know.
The new rules, has it saved us?
I think they're very good. I would have loved that game. I'd say Oisin, you would as well. It's giving the players a lot of freedom, and I think it's basically the ball moves faster than anybody, and if you can move the ball quick now, you're going to be.
It's brought the midfield battle back too.
Yeah, the contest in the middle of the field, but it's nearly all about the kickouts now, really. Yeah. Maybe not as many clean catch kickouts as you can get, but the breaks are more important now, picking up the ball in the break, and so whatever team gets possession now has can dictate. Mm-hmm. And I suppose we saw it last Sunday with Donegal and Kerry in the All-Ireland final last year. Kerry dictated the kickouts last week. Donegal dictated the kickouts, and they benefited from that. So you'd have to say that I think the rules have been very good. The only rule I don't like is this moving the ball up 50 yards.
Right.
We had an incident last Sunday where the ball was gone over the sideline, and Jason Foley, I think, didn't hand the ball back.
Yeah.
But the ball is out of play.
On the ground.
Yeah, but the ball is out of play.
Yeah.
I don't think that should have applied, and he brought the ball into the 14-yard line for the tap over free. Okay, there's times if a fella acts maggot and throws the ball away, I can see that. But sometimes, you can work it to your benefit as well. If you get the ball and run into a fella, you can beat the ball up 50 yards. So I don't like that aspect. But otherwise, I think it's good. Again, the hooter as well is very controversial at the end of the game. I think that...
Don't start us in the hooter now. Don't start us in the hooter.
I think... I don't know how you're going to correct it, but...
Get rid of it. It's too much of we can't handle it. It's just a small little thing, but actually we're making a rod for rowing back. Just, you know what? Fourth official, how much time's left?
Yeah.
Let the referee play. Like the black card last week in the league final. It's exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
you're still taking a Division 2 final, beg your pardon. You're still taking a black card all day long.
Right, yeah, yeah. Well, I think they're the two controversial things I have in the new rules. But otherwise, I think they're good.
Yeah, brilliant.
Did you so see when you finished playing, Jack? Did you always go to games? Did you always?
Oh yeah, I love going to Croke Park. Yeah.
Not just Croke Park, but everywhere.
Not really. No, I wouldn't go to. We'll say I wouldn't go to a lot of games unless they were in Croke Park. Really, I go to a few games, but I generally wouldn't. I kind of took a back seat and just relaxed a bit and started playing a little bit of golf and. Like I've been there, done all that kind of stuff, but I love to go to Croke Park. No matter who's playing, I would go to Croke Park. It wouldn't matter if it was Kerry or not. I'd like to go to Croke Park.
How big a part then is golf played?
I suppose it kind of something to do after. Keeps you competitive and it keeps your mind good. We have I'm in a club in Killeen in Kildare, and most of the lads there are tradesmen and that. We have a good group of lads together, and I've 40 lads now heading with me next week down to Kerry for a weekend. Give them a bit of fresh air, So I actually had the privilege of playing golf with Ernie Els.
No way.
That's my claim to fame. I played with Ernie Els in Galway in I think 1990.
Pro-Am or something?
He came Pro-Am, yeah, and we won it. And he was with us that night. We had a great night with him that night. And
The Big
that's my
Easy.
claim to fame. Big Easy.
What was he like?
He was unbelievable. He was starting out at the time. It was kind of at the beginning of his career. And he played a good bit of rugby as well in South Africa at underage level. But we had great chats about fitness and all different sorts of stuff. And funnily enough, about 10 years later, he came to you're saying with Jacko Shea's household name, whatever. He came to play in the Irish Open down in Mount Juliet, and I went down to actually go and see the golf because he was coming. I said, "Geez, I might get a chance to meet him." Yeah. So I was after the golf. I was coming up, and they were all in a kind of a compound, and I saw Ernie going into a big camp kind of a thing for an interview or whatever. So I waited around, and the next day I met a guard from Kerry, and I said, "Is there any chance I can get in to see Ernie?" So he let me in, this guard from Kerry, right? And Ernie came out, and I went over to him. I said, "Hey Ernie, I played with you." He said, "You're the footballer," he says to me. That was 10 years later, and I'm sure he'd met a lot of people in the meantime, so it kind of, he remembered as well, so that was a nice moment as well.
Yeah.
What were you playing off at that stage?
I was playing off about 12.
Right.
And I was in Sawgrass actually 2 years ago. I played in Sawgrass.
Yeah.
And I played the famous hole in Sawgrass. 17th. I hit a 7-iron to it. It hopped on the green and hit the flag. But I missed the birdie putt. That was my sorrow. But it was a great thrill. Yeah, fabulous.
That's why you're a midfielder. You could do it all except the last wee bit.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I was able to hit the old post as well.
Brilliant stuff.
Snowgrass, where else have you played that?
The first time I ever caught a
Sticks in
golf
your
club was in the Olympic Club in San Francisco, in one of the All-Star tours. Like we used a great crack that time with the tours. The Bank of Ireland would bring us out golfing, and we were on a good few trips together like that, and we used to go to a lot of golf courses like that. Then I was involved. I was doing an article with the Sunday Times for 18 years, 17 years, and they used to play an outing every year, and we used to play in Wentworth and Glen Eagles and all those big courses, and they used to come over and play the K Club, and we used to play down in the European Club and those places. So,
what's the best one? What's the best course you played in?
My best course I played in, I love, is Waterville. I think Waterville is one of the best courses in the country, yeah. It truly is very good as well. They're all Kerry clubs now, you know.
Yeah, you'd be biased at all, would you?
We're very lucky, actually. We have some of the best courses in the world in this country, compared to other places.
You didn't go to the Open when Shane Lowry won it by any chance?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay. Move on. Next question. Okay. True enough, Port Rush isn't in Kerry. That might be the problem. You touched upon fitness there. It's quite interesting. We've a friend, great man, a person I would have a lot of time for. James McCartan.
Wee James.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a big grin going on in your face now. I can feel the...
I babysat him in Australia for a year.
That's not the story he told me. If he did, you're a very bad babysitter.
I said, or else I educated him for 3 or 4 weeks.
And a very poor educator, but maybe in life a good education. He was, you're right, you were in Australia, and that was a proper tour, nearly like a rugby tour back in the day there, 6 weeks.
Yeah, it was great. It was actually... You got the feeling what it would like to be professional for 6 weeks. So you were training twice a day. So it was all... that trip actually in 1990, I think we won... Oh no, we won... Yeah, we won the first 2 tests. So we had a pretty good week for the last one. But it was great to play with lads as well from different counties. You know, there was outstanding players like from the likes of Spike Fagan, from Westmeath, and you know, these fellas that would be from Noel Roach from
Were the Grimleys on that one?
The Grimleys, Mark and John, were in that one, 2 tough men, Mark and John. No, they were in 86, weren't they?
I'm not sure.
I think they were in 86,
One of them.
They were, Yeah, and Brian McGilligan.
Brian McGilligan.
They were a tough man,
Tough boy.
They were in Heffo's time, so I was rooming with James, and it's just funny, every city we went to, there was a room change. Everybody had to kind of change with different partners and to be in different cities. But McGee and Sean McCaig, they said that I had to look after James for the 3 or 4 weeks where we were there. So
because he was only 19 at the time, wasn't he?
He was only about 19, He was...
That's not the story I heard right enough from James, but go on ahead.
See, it depends who told you the story.
It was James.
Oh, right.
He was there.
That's his version. Listen, he was a great kid, a great lad.
His version was that Eugene McGee wanted you a number of hotel changes, 6 or 7 throughout the trip, and wanted you to change roommates. And like a good idea to get you to know everybody, but you were like, oh no, I'm
looking after him. Oh yeah, he was a character. Like we were great friends ever since, and that. So it was an opportunity. Like I was amazed actually when we were rooming the first night. He hardly fell asleep. He was telling me the whole story of Kerry football from the start of my career to the end of my career.
He was.
He's huge knowledge of Kerry football. So he said he had worn out the Kerry Golden Years tape watching it, and he'd football. Football was everything to James back then.
Because his father was on that trip as well.
That's right. Yeah, his father was in there. Yeah.
And I suppose that down team are probably the one team in Ireland.
His father kept saying to me, "Make sure you look after James now."
Yeah.
So I had to look after him.
But they're probably the one team in Ireland that didn't massively fear Kerry, because that team in the 60s in a way did really well.
Did great. Even in my last semi-final I played in, they beat us in the All-Ireland semi-final in 91.
Yeah.
They had a great record against Kerry. But Down always have good footballers, and they had even back then they had great players, and Greg Blaney, great centre forward, Conor Deegan full back. They were good players. Even that team they won in 92, 93,
91 and 94.
91, yeah. So they were renowned to have good teams. They always. One of my favourite players actually growing up was Colin McInerney.
Right.
Yeah, and I always had a great admiration for him, the way he played the game. He was very mobile up and down the field, and my vision of him is going on with solo running.
Mm-hmm.
So he would have been one of my idols when I was growing up.
Probably actually explains quite a lot of James' fascination with Kerry. The fact that a 19-year-old is sitting rooming with Jacko, there'd be a natural bit of, my God, he would have known all about you, obviously, but the fact he felt the need to educate you on Kerry football is great.
He did educate me a lot of things.
This is we're not putting the warning at the start of this podcast, so we're not going there. But what actually is interesting, which you maybe don't know, James's younger brother Owen is named after your former teammate, Mr. Liston.
Owen Liston.
Yes, and guess what? There's another member of that family that's named after you. Now, unfortunately, I don't think they had another kid after Owen. I think Owen's the youngest. So they got a dog and they named it Jack.
Next best thing. Very good. That's nice to hear, isn't it?
That is not a joke. He told me that this morning on the way down here.
James did.
James did.
Oh, he never stops, does he?
He said, He said Owen was named after Owen Liston, but we got a dog and named it after Jack.
I think he told me that story. All right, he did.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Just David Clifford, is he the best you've ever seen?
Again, he's as good as I've ever seen, without a doubt. He's a phenomenal player. I think the new rules probably suit him a lot better as well. But his skill level is unreal. He's as a person, I've huge time for him as well. He's a real down to earth, solid bloke. You know, he is an unbelievable. He's without a doubt the best kicker of a ball, both feet, that I've seen. He's big, he's strong, he's everything. He's got everything. So I would say he's probably the best player I've ever seen, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is, it's nearly an unfair question, isn't it? When you think of all the great people that you played with, but the fact that you're saying, look, yeah, it's probably him. It's some compliment.
Yeah, like, we've been... Listen, there's been some great footballers, like Oisin was a great player in his time in his team. There's been great players in every team, and it's very hard to, like Matt Connor was a phenomenal footballer.
Yeah.
So natural, unreal, you know. And I always felt, and I said it a few times to Matt, that if he had been in Kerry or whatever, like how many All-Irelands would he have won? You know, that kind of way. He was so talented. Like one of the best midfielders I probably played against was Peter McGinnity in Fairman in the Railway Cups. Like some great players back then as well. Mullins was a great, tough, you know, footballer. Every county has great players, you know what I mean? And it's like, if you come at the right time, it's great. Like we say, some players come, like Maurice Fitzgerald came in an era when Kerry weren't as strong as they normally would be and that kind of stuff. So he still stood out a mile in his time. So there's some great players. But one of the best players, I've often been asked the question, who would be one of the best players you ever played against? And that would be a Kerry man. And that's Paddy Lynch, I would say.
Right.
Paddy Lynch, I played at club level a lot because I was playing with a junior club. He played with a junior club. We played Division 2. He played in Division 2. So we met 3 or 4 times maybe every year in competitions. And I learned more from him when I was young than any other player. And you had to be wise to know how to play him. Like you had to grow to play him. He was.
What do you mean by that?
He had this ability to, like, if you go to field the ball with him, he had the ability to flick you off with his hip or with something that he actually got a clean catch. So you had to learn. I had to learn how to compete with him, to come in late, that I wasn't kind of caught underneath the ball and that I would come in late to contest with him. And then when he hit you, you felt it, like he shook you, you know, that kind of way. He was solid, he was strong. He was probably one of the best players I ever saw to kick a pass from 30, 40 yard pass. The ball might go only 3 foot off the ground, you know, off the side, kind of outside of his boot. He'd kick it. He was an exceptional player.
But isn't that so lovely that of all the great players you played with and against throughout the years, and naturally you maybe go to the Brian Mullins and these people, and you're very complimentary of them all, but you go to a man, Paddy Lynch, that people from the outside...
Like he won All-Ireland's cornerback, wing back, centre field, you know, all-round player, like, so.
But he's not one that, as Thomas says, he's not one that...
He's not one that sticks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know, like he
hasn't got the all-star.
I accept the ridiculousness of my question there when you actually go through.
What county are you from again?
all the positions there, but I'm just saying he's not
roll off the tongue stuff.
Yeah, he's not, like, you know what I mean.
Even when I say to myself, when I meet him, I say to him, he gets embarrassed himself. You know what I mean? But as a player, to learn something from, or I did learn from, he would be the one.
Well, I think that's just such a lovely compliment. Like, that's such a lovely compliment.
Yeah.
You've illustrated that, but he turns out he's a very good footballer as well.
Oh, he's a great player, yeah.
Jack, you mentioned about Walterstown. You coach managed them 83, 84.
83, 84, yeah.
Right, so you're still quite young.
I was, and I was playing in the height of my career as well at the time.
Playing
and, like we were after winning the 4 in a row, so it was kind of, and getting beaten by Cork and beaten by Offaly the 2 years previous to that. So they had a trainer, Micko O'Brien. He got sick, and they wanted to get somebody in just to kind of, I suppose, keep the momentum up in the training. So I trained them for 2 years, and They won 2 county finals and they got to 2 All-Ireland finals. Nemo Rangers beat us. Oh no, they got 1 All-Ireland final when I was there. They had been in one before that. I remember going.
Did that give you the first taste of coaching and management?
It did, yeah. And but I kind of, I suppose I wouldn't call it coaching really, Oisin. I thought I just went there, did the training, got them to do what I was doing in my own training and that kind of stuff. And I tugged out and I did everything with them as well. And I was competing with them kind of on the pitch and that kind of stuff. I remember one night, they were a phenomenal club. There was only about 250 houses, I think, in the parish.
Small, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember one night, it was snowing. It was real bad snow. I said it was about 6 or 8 inches of snow in Leixlip. And I said, geez, there's no way the training will go ahead tonight. So I rang up the lads and I said, will the training go ahead? Oh, yeah. They said the training will go ahead. So I left Leixlip, and I think it nearly took me 2.5 hours to get to Navan with the snow. The roads were that bad with the snow. And we pulled into the pitch, and somebody went in and turned on the lights for the floodlights for the training. The next thing, bang, goes the whole lights in darkness. So I said, oh, geez, that's the end of the train. No, they all got their cars, brought in their cars, turned on the lights, and we trained under the lights of the cars. And then for the next 2 weeks, the snow stayed for a few weeks or whatever. There was no lights and no pitch available. So what they did was we trained in the schoolyard with the lights of the school on and the old schoolhouse. You can imagine an old schoolhouse in the country. Turned on the lights in the school and we trained around the schoolyard. They were a phenomenal team, like, you know. They were the Barrys and the Reynoldses and all them. They were huge. They were Sullivans. They were all. I think Eamon Barry was the only one might have been on the county panel. The rest of them were all Frank Sullivan and the 2 Barrys and the Reynoldses and all them. They were phenomenal team. Like, they had about 16 or 17 players, and that was it.
And that give you a first taste of coaching?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, and I coached. I went to Mayo then in '93 and '94, and
so you weren't long finished.
I only finished the year before. Retired in '92.
How'd you end up in Mayo?
A fella, 2 lads from Mayo men in Leixlip. They came to me and asked me would I get involved coaching Mayo or whatever with the team. So I went ahead with it, and I inherited the team that time. We say the older kind of lads in the Mayo team at that time, and we won the Connacht final, and then we played Cork in the All-Ireland semi-final, and we got well beaten. So the second year, then I said, just time to go looking for new talent, kind of upgrade the panel a bit. So I brought in about 7 or 8 young fellas like Kieran MacDonald and Kevin O'Neill. Ronan Golding. There was some good. I think 7 of the lads I brought in that time played in the All-Ireland final in '97. Yeah. So then the following year, then we got beaten by Leitrim. It was a famous time that Leitrim won the Connacht final. They beat us that day.
That's right.
Yeah. So that was the end of my coaching career then.
Do you have any regrets around that? Any regrets?
No, maybe I did go in a bit too early, but having said that,
it's hard to turn down the opportunity though when it comes.
I don't think you even think of the consequences really. Back then, you're kind of involved. I'm still playing club football for another 8 to 10 years. You know what I mean? So it never kind of crossed my mind. I just went for it, and that was it.
Yeah, you brought in Kieran MacDonald, so it was you that brought him in. What caught the eye there?
His skill level, and his blonde hair. No, his skill level. He was a phenomenal player. Yeah, they were very talented. I suppose we all know the Mayo should have won at least 1 or 2 All-Irelands. Like, they always have talent, but they just don't seem to be able to get over the line.
Yeah.
Then you have his son now, Kobe, who's hitting the headlines in a big way. He looks an unbelievable talent. But unfortunately, he's going off to Australia now, so he's a big loss to Mayo and a big loss to Gaelic, really.
You've lost a few of them in Kerry?
Yeah, we've lost. Ben Murphy went last year now, and I think there's 2 or 3 other fellas out there at the moment as well.
How do you feel about that?
It's hard to stop the lads and if they get an opportunity to go, like they get experience of.
Did you have that opportunity?
They kind of were talking about it when I was out there playing and that, but I think I was too old, let's say, at the time. The first year, '86, there was talk about it, but I would be considering going. They reckon I would have fitted into their game, like, all right. But it's a huge, like you look at Mark O'Connor now, who came back with England this year, like, he's an outstanding player. and it looks like he'll be coming home for Kerry next year, hopefully.
Think so?
Yeah, his contract is up now, so I was talking to him after the club final, and I think to be one of his ambitions now, big ambitions, to come back and win an All-Ireland with Kerry. Like at the time when he went, like he'd played in Minor for 3 years with Kerry.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal footballer, but he's some
It was a
athlete.
massive blow when he went,
Yeah.
especially at that time when they needed.
Yeah, and
something.
Kerry was lacking for
Yeah.
isn't that? Yeah, so like he'd be a huge boost now if he got back again. But it's very hard, as you say, lads. If they do get an offer to go to Australia, it's hard to stop them. You know what I mean? It's a big opportunity for them, and like these lads are young going, you know, so they could be back if they're not successful. They can come back and play, and you know, after 3 or 4 years or whatever. But it's a huge experience to go and play there. Like,
Yeah.
it's a different game now. It's a very mobile game.
Yeah, it's not the game.
No, it's not. Yeah, you don't get time to think there, like, so you have to adapt fairly quickly to it. But I think Ben Murphy is doing very well actually at the moment.
But bittersweet because he's nailed on a Kerry player. You would have.
Oh, he played midfield for the Austin Stacks in the county final
Yeah.
this year, and he's only 18, and great athlete. He is everything, like, and has shown us since he's been about 13, 14, so he's been outstanding. So hopefully we'll get him back in the green and gold.
You talk about adapting and fitness, and just I don't want to always refer back to James here, but he did give a lovely compliment. He's great words on you. I want to make that very, very clear, by the way. But he actually said that it's funny you mentioned about Australia. You felt like full-time athletes. It was like an experience of what it would like to be a pro. And James was telling me that he really struggled with it because it was like twice daily training. He was always in the physio's table, and what he said to me this morning, had it touched his calf, he would have jumped off the bench. But he said in his time of football, he's never come across anybody more fitter than you. Now, he's played at the very top level, and he's managed as well, obviously. But even he was sort of quoting the physio there at that time, that just you had a level of strength and fitness that he couldn't get over. Like, did you get that a lot, or is that like something out of?
I don't know. It kind of came natural. I used to do a lot of cross country running as well, you know.
Yeah.
But I put it, as I say, I put a lot of it back down to my beagle hunting when I was young to get the physique and the strength.
Because dogs as well,
Your legs.
when they're not hunting, they need to be looked after.
Oh, they'd be walked.
They'd be walked,
yeah. And then we, in the summertime, you'd drag hunt them as well. You'd pull a scent, maybe 10-mile course or whatever, and let them hunt it as well. So
Yeah.
it's a great activity in that. But I think the secret in anybody's career is injury. Stay injury free. That's a great plus if you can do that.
How did you avoid that? Like, what do you think now? Like, how did you avoid that?
There was a couple of things. I always kind of thought that if you did a certain amount of training, you had to have a certain amount of rest. I didn't believe in training hard and whatever. I thought that you trained like you played in a match. You know, you went, did some drill or whatever, hard or whatever, and then you relax, recover, go again, you know, that kind of stuff. So I kind of trained that kind of way, and I trained hard. I never went out to a training session to try to get through it. I went out to a training session to empty myself, usually. And I was competitive, like training all the time. And as I say, I played club games, and I played challenge matches as hard as I would have played in championship, and that's the way I kind of treated it all. So I think staying free of injury is the main thing.
Yeah, and probably a bit of luck in there as well.
Bit of luck,
obviously.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That answer would be very different for different people, and I accept that. But
and then I think physically working as well, you know, was a great asset as well.
You play a lot of football in Kerry, though, don't you? In comparison to other counties.
Oh yeah, I would have played with South Kerry. You'd play in the South Kerry Championship, you played the county league, you played the county championship, and you played the individual junior or senior whatever championships as well. So you play a lot of football at that time.
That's still the case, because I've seen in recent years where the likes of Jacko and people have said, you know, this is coming against us because we're playing too much football now almost.
Yeah. Well, he was kind of on about, I think, the county players that are involved with the clubs, that the clubs were doing so well that it made the year long. Like you take David Clifford, like sure, he had 2 or 3 years there that he didn't have a break at all for nearly the full year, you know, playing with Fuss and that. But I suppose the good thing about that, Sheehan, is if you're playing games, you don't need to be training.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
In your case, you know, you probably
I didn't have to train that.
Yeah.
And I trained I trained under Micháel now in Dublin, like, and it was much more relaxing than training under Micko, like, as such. Like, I used to go to Kerry for we'll say a week or two before the All-Ireland or the semi-final. I go down for a week to train.
Get yourself right up there.
And the first night I go down, he'd check me out, like he'd give me some. We used to do these wire to wires, you know, from one wire to the other wire and back in sprints. And one night I remember he gave me 3 of them in a row without stopping. Like, George Power was with me for the first one. I think Bomber was with me for the second one, and John O'Keefe was with me for the third one. I remember hitting the wire on the far side and turning around to come back, and I went dizzy. Obviously, I could just no oxygen or whatever, but I wasn't going to give in to the wire. Like, there was no way I was going to lie down and do it, you know. So I said, I'm not going to give in to him. So you had that kind of a determination in you, so you didn't hold back.
When Micháel trained you, what sort of stuff? Like, obviously, it's limited what you can do.
Again, but again, you know, it's like everything. When you go onto the pitch with, no matter who's training you, if the lad alongside you isn't doing as hard as you were doing it, you know what I mean? There's no benefit in it. But like, we used to have lads from Joe Brawley training with us. We had lads from different counties training with us. Now, Joe only trained when he had the ball. He didn't like to train without the ball. But we had all different lads in different counties. Mayo lads with us. Kieran Murray from Monaghan was with us. Yeah. We had some great athletes and things with us. So everybody trained hard, and we had some club players played. We used to usually about 15 or 20 lads most evenings. And but we used to have good sessions now. But Micháel brought a bit of Micháel, I always thought, to me, he was like a psychologist to me. He worked. I think Micháel would be very responsible for my kicking in my game that improved as I went on, and he spent a lot of time on that with kicking with me and that, and he made the training enjoyable. If you know what I mean, if you can make training enjoyable, he made it enjoyable, and he brought a bit of glamour and a bit of fun to it as well.
He always came across as someone who had a presence, despite the fact that he was quite softly spoken.
Oh yeah, when Micháel would say to me, "Jack, I never saw you in greater shape," that's all I wanted to hear. He had that unique ability to get into your mind, and he was like, I knew Micháel for about 25 years. I never heard a bad word out of his mouth. I never heard him swear. I never saw him angry. He was totally laid back, and I often say to myself, if something happened in even everyday life, I say, what would Micháel do here, or how would Micháel do this? That's the way it was with him, you know. He was just, but he was the same with everybody. He treated Oisin and the Armagh team as the same as he treated the Kerry team. Like, he used to go into the dressing rooms before the matches, meet the players, and he had a unique touch like that.
Yeah, it's a great sign of someone that you can be quite softly spoken and nearly gentle, but actually completely command.
But sure, if he spoke anywhere, you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, he drew that attention when he spoke. Yeah,
he did. What do you think about the league final now? A bit of time has passed. Is it depression? Is it reality? Is it okay? I'm happy enough. Nearly.
It's a reality check.
Yeah.
It's also a reality check for Jim McGuinness that, you know, what he did in the All-Ireland final last year. You know, the way he approached it. Did he put too much thought into stopping Kerry rather than going at Kerry? And,
is that what you think?
Well, listen, Donegal are a good team, and they have good forwards, they have great pace. Donegal have the footballers to compete with anybody. And, you know, in the All-Ireland final, they gave Kerry the ball. If you give Kerry the ball and let them play with it and try to stop them, you have no chance. You know, the best way to stop Kerry is get the ball before them. And I thought Donegal were outstanding. It was a little bit embarrassing at times the way they were getting through and that kind of stuff. But Kerry looked very flat, but you know, looking at it, and even I was saying before I went into the game at all, I just felt that Donegal needed to win it more than Kerry needed to win it, and it kind of showed in the day. But in fairness to Donegal, they were exceptional. They were really good.
Yeah, they
took their scores great. They got 3 goals kind of really, really quickly, which really killed the game off. Like, you were waiting for Kerry for a fight back, but it never came. But they couldn't get hold of the ball, and that was the problem.
Who's going to win the All-Ireland this year?
I think the 2 teams could be back in the final again next year. I think they're probably the two best teams in the country, but there's a long way to go. Like, you know, an injury here or there can make a huge difference. So it's very hard to predict. But
is there anybody outside that too, Jack, that you think could sneak in there?
I think Galway mightn't be too far away.
Yeah.
I think Armagh are quite good. Armagh would be a difficult test for anybody because, like, their size, their physique, the way they play. Against Kerry in the second half, I thought they were brilliant. You know, and if they get it right on the day, they're capable of beating anybody as well. So I think there's 4 or 5 teams. I think Meath have been I'm encouraged with them. And I think Louth are going very well. You know, like, they're teams that can create an upset.
Yeah.
Bit of a shock. Like Roscommon, we saw them in the league. They can be really good and then they can be poor. But you're still probably talking about the same 7 or 8.
I think Galway was a good shout.
Golly, something about them this year now. Just kind of under the radar. You think about it, there's not too many people talking about
it. It depends, like with Shane Walsh and if they come back and full forward comes back.
Comer,
yeah. They've got some good young players as well. Finnerty is playing well, so
yeah.
Like, I've always felt that you need 3 top class forwards to win the All-Ireland, playing at their best. Because, like, you can mark 1, you can mark 2, but you won't be able to mark the third in that kind of way. You'll always get 1 or 2 of them markers in a team, but to stop 3 or 4 good forwards is not easy.
Yeah.
And
with the new rules now, that extra wee bit of space brings those forwards to the
and as we all know, like, there's days you can go out and it can happen, there's days it won't happen. And last week it happened for Donegal, but they deserved it. Like, they had 4 big men across the middle for the kickouts and they contested and won most of it.
Yeah.
And you know, that set the platform for them then, because, you know, they've some very good forwards up front and great pace.
Yeah. What's the best lesson you've ever learned, Jack? Across the piece, random question, I know. What's the best bit of advice, best lesson you've ever learned?
As a player, I always kept saying to myself, there's always somebody better. So I have to improve. And you know, you're always going to come up against somebody when the challenge is going to be more and different. And that's why I never thought about who I was going to be marking. I never kind of went out to mark anybody. I always said they have to come and mark me. That's not being bullish now or whatever, but that was my attitude towards it, that if I play it my hardest and do my best, that they would have to come and challenge me, you know. So if you're a young fella and, you know, you're ambitious and trying to achieve something in sport and whatever, you know, there's nothing that cannot be achieved, but there's nothing that will be handed to you either, that you have to go and work at it. And usually if you put in the work, you'll get the rewards. So Micháel Ó Muircheartaigh always said to me, there's 3 things in life, he says, what happened yesterday, you can do nothing about. What happens today, you can do something about. And what's going to happen tomorrow, you can look forward to. So they're my 3 words.
Absolutely class. And very lastly, your favourite memory, thing that you think you'll nearly take with you to the grave. I'm just conscious your upbringing. You talk so beautifully about home life, big challenge, not easy, but you were smiling as you were talking around it too, which I thought was a lovely thing.
Yeah, when I think back on my youth, the sight of sitting around the table with my sisters and my brother, my mother and my father, you know, and appreciating what we had in front of us. And that's one of the happy memories I will take.
And did you appreciate that at the time, Jack, or has that come with age when you look back at it?
When I look back on it, you appreciate it more. At the time, it was never going to be any different. That's the way it was going to be. And when I look back on it and say, you know, I'm proud of where we came from. And I'm proud of my family and that. And, you know, we're still there, all of us, thank God. And we're very bonded and very close.
Yeah. Did Sam Maguire ever be thrown on your mother's lap? Did you?
Yeah, I have a fabulous photograph taken with my grandfather and my grandmother in 1978. They were 93, 94, and I have the cup in between the two of them. And that's a memory I cherish as well.
Wow.
It's funny, actually, we won the league in 83, and I was captain. I had the National League Cup inside the boot of my car for 3 weeks before I took it out. It's funny, these things. So, there's... when you look back, like, as you get older, things come back to you, and you remember all the great days. And I can even remember club games I played with Cahersiveen in South Kerry championships and that kind of thing. And the rivalry between local clubs and that. Like, we had 9 clubs in South Kerry which came together to form a team in the county championship. But the other competitions in South Kerry, like the South Kerry championship, like, was battlefield. You could be hammering a fella the Sunday before and you'd be playing with him next week. So, like, that's great, isn't it? It's a great... We had a great upbringing in that respect, and it was a great place to be brought up.
Brilliant, fantastic. Jack, it's been great to have you, man. Thank you so much. It is
thanks for coming on, Jack.
Thank you very much.
Privileged to have you and get
He was one of my idols.
Yeah.
I loved watching him.
Yeah.
Good footballer, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's at the same age, in fairness. Like,
He's still looking well.
He is, yeah. But you're right to bring that up, because he was some footballer. I know he's a manager. He's a big game.
Me.
He was
Jack.
But he wasn't he? Like, in his pomp.
Some player, yeah. And his club team, like, you'd have a huge admiration for that. Coming from a small club as well, and to be so successful as a team and as a unit.
Yeah.
That you can't achieve those things too easy.
Yeah.
And they're not achieved too easy. There's a lot of work. And even his mum, I remember his mum meeting her on several occasions outside Croke Park and that. And she was a great woman as well.
Big fan of yours,
good
John.
Conversation, yeah. And she is a great woman.
Yeah, it was all going so well till he said Crossmaglen was a small club. Did you hear that? You hear that? How many? 6 All-Ireland clubs. How many Ulsters have you got? 11? 10. How many senior championships?
16.
Serious, isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
Was there any other team in Armagh only Crossmaglen?
I'm definitely not getting into that
We need
one.
to get back to that, Jack. We need to get back to that.
Well, the Crossmaglen men will be either at the athletic grounds, or they will be watching on the BBC this weekend. Armagh against Tyrone is our
It's going to be
first.
some game, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen?
I think Tyrone are struggling a bit. I think Armagh, physique and power, will win the day. Tyrone, I think, have a year or two to go. There's some very good young players, but a lot of them are of the same pedigree, I think, and that they just need a bit of time to develop. But I think Armagh are further down the line. And, Armagh won the All-Ireland 2 years ago. There has to be another kick in them, that team. And, they might have learned the lesson last year that they'll come back stronger this year. Yeah. They'll be thereabouts, I think.
Yeah. Could Tyrone catch them?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have asked you that question. Could Tyrone catch them?
Well, Tyrone can catch anybody.
Yeah.
Like, Tyrone can be on their day. It depends how they apply themselves. And you see, like, games with the weather conditions and everything, a lot can depend.
Yeah. But you said about, like, if you have 3 or 4 dangerous forwards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You always have a chance, yeah.
Tyrone have that.
Well,
Oh, yeah, they have,
5
yeah.
or 6 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
They have that in abundance.
Micháel is a lovely player.
That's what makes
Yeah.
them
Good footballer, yeah.
dangerous, yeah.
Well, funny, he was one of the young players from Loch McCrory, that's his club.
Yeah, that's right.
Who mentioned about walking behind the band.
Yeah.
It's funny that, isn't
I
it?
saw him playing on the under-20s against Kerry. He was exceptional. Very good player. Yeah.
Brilliant. We'll wrap it up there. The game is live this weekend on BBC Television, the BBC Sport website, BBC iPlayer. We are looking forward to it. We'll see how it goes. Championship has started. Hard to believe. But good luck this weekend from a Wicklow perspective. And Jack, just life well lived, man.
Carry on moving, yeah.
Look at you. You're the picture of happiness there.
Happy out.
Enjoy that golf trip.
Should have to be in your company. Have to be happy.
Fantastic, boy. Fantastic. It was great hearing from you. Many more podcasts on BBC Sounds and many more Gaelic game stories right across the BBC, including the BBC Sport website. But from the great Oisin McConville and the great Jacko, thanks for listening.